So our next topic is differential amplifier. We are continuing our analog CMOS circuit. So what is the basic need for our differential amplifier? So first of all, one parameter is there, that is called your noise. So noise plays a vital role for any analog circuit. So this differential amplifier, basically the noise cannot affect this type of differential amplifier. So this is maybe regarded as a robust operation. So next, high output voltage swing, high gain in comparison to a single stage amplifier, and linear performance and simpler biasing circuit is required, because in order to put any active component, you need some external biasing circuit. So in this figure, how this single-ended signal and differential signals are considered, and we can make a simple view from this diagram. Just a single-ended single-ended signal output we are getting here, and this output is defined with respect to some fixed potential. So this is shown in the figure. But in case of your differential signal, these two nodes have equal and opposite signal excursion around a fixed potential. These two nodes are there. So these two nodes we are getting, which one as a positive and another will be at a negative potential. That means they have opposite polarity, and the signal level is measured with respect to some common level, and this fixed potential in differential signal is called a common mode CM level. So this is the basically nomenclature in case of your signal or in case of your different signaling processing. Next, we move on to some advantages of this differential signaling. First one is that we have some immunity to environmental noise. So from this figure it is clear that this line 1 carries a small signal small and sensitive signal, and line 2 carries a large clock waveform. So due to some capacitive coupling between these two lines, so there will be some crosstalk. So that means line 1 may be affected by this line 2. So this crosstalk plays a vital role, and this we have to remove this crosstalk for by using a differential line. So this is shown in the figure. In this figure, small and sensitive signal is distributed as a two equal and opposite phases. This is already shown in the figure, and the clock signal is placed in between these two lines. So the transition disturb the differential phase by equal amount, leaving the difference intact. That means this that means the effect of these two lines will be nullified. So the crosstalk will be removed here. Next one is our immunity to power supply. We know that VDD will be highly stable power supply. So this power supply may be generated from a linear regulated supply, or it may be generated from any switching regulated power supply. So there will be some unwanted ripple on that power supply. So that may be treated as a noise to that power supply. So if this power supply is corrupted with this type of noise, then the output voltage will be also corrupted by this type of noise. If there will be a small change of the voltage VDD, that is delta V, then V out also changes by this amount delta V. So in this case of our differential circuit, differential amplifier or differential signaling process, we are generating two equal and opposite phase polarity the wave, and if the signal, the voltage source is corrupted by some external noise, so this effect will be nullified, so because both are in opposite polarity. So this is means the differential signaling will give us much more immunity for supply noise. Next advantage of our differential signaling is that reduction of a coupled noise. In case of your signal, if from this figure we have a three line L1, L2 and L3. So the differential signal can also be employed in a noisy line. For this example, the distributed clock can help in removing the noise from the signal. So the noise coupled from L3 to L1 and L2 to L1 will cancel out each other because this clock are in opposite polarity. So that means if some noise is added to line L1 from L2 and another noise is added from L3 to L1, so these two noises will be in opposite polarity and will cancel each other. So that means there will be some reduction of this coupled noise. So this is another advantage of this differential signaling. But the main problem of this differential signaling is that the sensitivity to the common mode level. So if you reduce the common mode voltage, so that will lead to the clipping of this output voltage. So let us take this differential amplifier circuit where Vin1 and Vin2 are the two input voltages for MOS M1 and M2 respectively, and Vout1 and Vout2 are the two output voltages from the point X and Y respectively. Here VDD is the supply or biasing voltage, RD are the two drain resistance or two load resistance. So here from first figure it is clear that if input voltage common mode level is sufficiently high, then Vn1 and Vn2 will swing, and according to that output side, Vout and Vout1 and Vout2 will swing without any clipping. But if you reduce this input common mode voltage, then what will happen? There will be, so these two devices M1 and M2 will be turned off. So that means the output will be clamped with Vout2 and Vout1. So there will be clipping at this output voltage level. So this is the main problem for differential signaling due to this common mode level change. So here this problem can be solved by using this technique. Here there will be a variation. First figure shows that variation of input CM level regulate the bias current of M1 and M2. That is totally undesired. So here this M1 and M2 are perfectly matched in this case for our differential amplifier, and RD1 and RD2 basically required for the saturation of MOS M1 and M2. And this ISS, that is your current source, is basically must be ideal, and current source infinite output impedance. We know that current source current with infinite output impedance. So here this ideal current source basically overcome the issues due to the non-ideal common mode level. So this current source plays a vital role for the for changing the common mode level or to regulate this common mode level. Now let us move on to some qualitative analysis of this differential pair amplifier, CMOS amplifier. Here let us considered V in 1 and V in IN2, V IN1 and V IN2 are the two input voltages, and that will vary from its low value to that high value. First condition we considered VIN1 is much more negative with respect to V in 2. So M1 is off and M2 is on according to this figure. So ID2 equal to ISS, that is our source current. So Vout2 equal to VDD and Vout1 equal to VDD, and Vout2 will be equal to VDD minus ISS into RD. So next case, let us consider V in 1 is brought closer to V in 2, then M1 the MOS gradually turns on and M2 MOS is already on. So that will draws a fraction of ISS and that will lowers Vout1. So ID2 automatically decreases and Vout2 rises. So next condition is that if these two input voltages are same, V in 1 equal to V in 2, so Vout1 will be equal to Vout2 equal to VDD minus ISS RD by 2. So ISS will be divided by 2 equally in these two branches. In the next case, let us consider V in 1 becomes more positive with respect to V in 2 V input 2. So M1 is on and M2 is also on. So M1 carries greater ISS than M2. So for sufficiently large Vn1 and Vn2, so all the ISS goes through M1 to M2 is off. So Vout1 in this case equal to VDD minus ISS into RD, and Vout2 will be equal to VDD. So there will be some switching of this MOS from M1 to M2 under this condition. So next we just draw the Vout1 minus Vout2 versus V input 1 minus V input 2. In the first figure we just draw the Vout and Vout1 and Vout2 with respect to input voltage difference of this input voltage Vn1 minus Vn2. So from this figure it is clear that there will be a maximum and minimum level at the output and is also independent of input CM level. So that means there will be defined value of maximum or minimum of that output voltages. So and is also means it is independent of CM level, that is shown in that first figure. In the next figure we just draw the difference of Vout1 minus Vout2 with respect to V input 1 minus V input 2. So it is clear that if we increase the input swing voltage, the circuit will move to our nonlinear region. So this, if we increase V in input 1 minus V input 2, so our circuit will move to our particular, that means nonlinear region. But one condition, at that condition V input 1 equal to V input 2, then the circuit will be called in equilibrium condition or said to be in equilibrium condition. Now next move on to the next slide, where we discussed about the common mode behavior of that circuit. Now let us consider in this common mode, to understand the common mode behavior, we just short circuit that input voltage V input equal to V input 1 equal to V input 2, and we make it V input CM common mode voltage level. and output 1 and output 2 are taken from X and Y respectively. So here this common source, that is one source, that is source is replaced, ISS is replaced by some MOS that is represented by M3. So here this trail current, this M3 plays a vital role to suppress the effect of input CM level variation, V input V in CM level variation, and that will be achieved under this condition, then when Vp should be sufficiently high to make M3 as a current source. So we put Vp should be high, one condition, so that condition is called our lower bound of VNCM. And in case of your upper bound of input CM common level, M1 and M2 should be in saturation region to operate as a differential amplifier. So this is the basic concept of differential amplifier, and the drawback of this amplifier, and the drawback can be removed by simple current source to adjust its common mode input voltage level. So that's about our today's class. Thank you.